Hey there, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Mary, and it's been a long time I sat down to make videos because of time. And in the spirit of Christmas, I'm dressed in green outfit, and it's also my birthday month. So, to all my returning subscribers, thank you for showing up. If you're new here, you're welcome to the channel. Stay tuned, it's going to be juicy all the way. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys how to successfully apply for a resident permit. I know you might be wondering why you're applying for a resident permit instead of a visa. Just stay tuned, you're going to understand the reason for that. Now, if you want some extra tips, I would encourage you to stay right till the end of this video because I'll be sharing extra tips on how to successfully apply for a resident permit without having so much glitches or so much problem during the application. So let's head right into this video. Like I said earlier, why you need to apply for a resident permit instead of a visa? Because here in Austria, once you're staying longer than 6 months or 3 months, then you need to apply for resident permit. So that's why you're not applying for visa. But a time will come when you definitely apply for visa. So stay tuned so you don't get confused with this process. For me to take you through this journey, I have my phone here with me, so I'll be looking at it to share some of the information that is needed. So, when in your Austrian process are you ready to apply for a resident permit? This is only when you've been granted admission to any Austrian university. So, how would you apply for a resident permit? All you need to do is to send the embassy an email telling them that you need a date for a resident permit, and they will respond with giving you a date, or they can also respond by asking you to submit your admission letter. This is some of the updates from recent times. So when you have this document submitted, a date will be given to you. Usually it's within 6 weeks to 2 months dates, depending on availability of dates. So with this email they will send you will contain some of the necessary information you already need to know, but I'll be pre-informing you on this too in this video. So when the email is sent to you, you will see an application form and some of other contents that you need to consume or you need to read and understand. So let me take you through the key documents which are required from you. So on the day of your interview, oh my bad, sorry, they are no longer doing interview at the moment. I did interview in my time, but currently you just need to go and submit your application. So during your application date, you need to come along with you to the embassy with this document. The application form which was sent to you via mail. In a later video, I will be sharing with you guys how to fill the form for those that might be having challenges in filling the application form. So right now, let me share with you the important documents. So like I said, you need to print out your filled application form. You need your passport photograph, that's your international passport. You need a picture, that's the passport itself, which is in a dimension of 3.5 by 4.5. That's the dimension from the embassy. You need an insurance. Now, for this insurance, let me take a break. For Austria, the process can be different from city to city because of different districts and different authorities handle their process slightly different from the others. I used the regular Nigerian insurance like the AXA and insurance, the Alliance insurance. It was fine for me, but we still get complaints from some people who say that they were asked to do an Austrian insurance. There are other Austrian insurance that you can apply for without necessarily making the payments till you're here, and I'll put the company info here. It is not a sponsored ad from them, it's just to help people who want to take the other option to do this, to get this insurance. So for that insurance, you need an insurance. How many months with your insurance? It can be 6 months insurance, it can be 3 months insurance, but it will be starting when you are about to arrive to the country. It doesn't necessarily need to start when you are applying for the visa. So the other document you'll need is an accommodation contract. I'll also take you through and explain a bit of the accommodation contract. Like I said before, some authorities are different from others. So the process at which they process your resident permit or some of the requirements are slightly different. But for an accommodation contract, you need to get an accommodation here in Austria. This is usually the normal step before I would go ahead to say some of the extra stuff you might need to do. You need to get an accommodation with an apartment, and the contract will be given to you. Yes, most people ask, do I need to pay for a deposit fee? There's usually a deposit fee somewhere around 500, 600, depending on the location where you got your accommodation or where you're applying for your resident permit. So the accommodation might differ from city to city, but some authorities would require you to submit a 1 year accommodation contract, while others 6 months is fine. So it's depending on where you are headed to, which if it's Vienna, if it's Salzburg, if it's Innsbruck, Graz, or whatever city you applied to. So these are some of the ups and downs. But if you have a 1 year contract, then you're safe. You are usually safe for this. Then the next document is your admission letter. Obviously, it's very important. Now, for the admission letter, some Austrian schools has only one intake, which is usually the winter semester, while some have two. So when you apply, they will give you two windows to come in either in the winter or in the summer. Then you can apply at any time. You're free. But for those who have their winter semester strict, then it's sort of a problem because you need to apply and gain your response from the authorities before the deadline. There's usually a deadline for 30th of October or 30th of September or November. Now, depending on your school and the authorities you're dealing with, then you have two intakes or just one intake, like I have said. So the next document we'll be looking at is your police character. Your police character document. For the Nigerians, I'll be putting the link in my description box, and I'll put the site here. So you need to get a police character. Now, some people ask, do I need to verify my police character? No, this is because police character is a document that expires after 3 months. That was why I did not include it in the list of important documents in my previous video, because by the time you get it and verify it and legalize it, it might have expired before you need it for your resident permit. Now, how do you apply for police character? You visit the website which will be displayed here for the Nigerians to apply for the police character. You register with your name, your NIN, and you fill in the form and you pay online. The fee is 30,000 naira for those who are in Nigeria. I'll say it again. You fill the form online and you pay a fee of 30,000 naira. For other nationals like my West African brothers or you're from any other country, you need to know how to apply for this from your home country. For specifically for those in Nigeria, you need to visit the website as I had stated earlier and fill the form and pay 30,000 naira. As of the time of this video, it is still costing 30,000 naira. When you make this payment, you would select the police station you would like to take your biometric capture. Not biometric per se, but just picture, photo capture. Right? Yes, it's a photo capture. So you visit the police station on sometimes you'll be sent a date, or you can visit there to and make your capture. From the day of your capture, you have somewhere around 24 to 48 hours for you to receive your police character. It will be sent to you in your portal or at your email. Now, with this police character, you need to also authenticate the police character. Remember, you authenticated your documents with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yes, you would also authenticate this, but you're not verifying this document. So you authenticate it at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and when you're going to the embassy, you also need to carry your 80 euros for legalization of this document. You will also need to legalize this document before it can be submitted. So, but you don't need to worry, you legalize it on the day of your application. Moving further, the last document is the proof of funds. Now, before I talk about the proof of funds, I want to list the documents I have said before, just so that we are on the same page. So I said your application form, I said your international passport and two passport photographs with the dimension of 3.5 by 4.5. I have told you about insurance, your admission letter, also told you about your accommodation contract, and lastly, the one I just spoke about is police character. So now let's head right into the bulk of the what should I say? I think proof of funds is one of the major issues or major technicalities with this. Now, for proof of funds, it's graded with age. Yes. So if you're not yet 24 years, you have a different amount you need to show, and from those who are 24 upwards have a different amount. Those who are applying as a couple and those who are applying as children. Now, let me start from the age bracket of 24. Initially, I wanted to make a separate video on this to give more detail because I didn't want the video to get so long. But I don't know. Let me just start and see how many information I can be able to give you based on this. Now, for those within the age bracket of less than 24, all you need to do is to have approximately 7,500 euros for the whole year. Yeah, 7,500 euros for the whole year. I'll put the exact figures on the screen, but this is just like the approximation because it is about 7,375.92 euros. So approximation is 7,500 for the whole year. So you convert with your local currency and know how much it is in your local currency. For those who are above 24 or those who are 24 and above, you need to prove with 13,000, approximately 13,500 euros for 12 months. And if you're a couple, like you're going with your spouse, or you're going with your spouse, you need to prove, you need to show proof of funds for 21,100 approximately. If you're going with a child, then you need to add an extra 2,100 for the whole year for the child, for one child. So for every child, you add an extra 2,100. Now that I've said this, how do you now show your proof of funds? Now, you need to print out your bank statement stating that you have this money. 6 months bank statement is the ideal bank statement for this. There are other things you need to consider. You need to also show the source of this funds, like how you acquired this funds and how you will be able to sustain yourself throughout the extra years for those coming for masters the second year, and then the money, sufficient money in your bank for this purpose. Now, there are also other ways of proving self-sponsored and being sponsored. So self-sponsored is that I have the money and I'm financing myself. Now you have a sponsorship is that somebody is sponsoring you. It can be your uncle, your parents, your company. I would explain this so you understand. Self-sponsored is quite simple. For self-sponsored, you have the money, you have the capacity. All you need to do is to prove that your source of funds are not illegal or illegitimate means of obtaining this source of funds. So you can either have property agent or you have a company, you can submit your company registration, your CAC registration for the Nigerians, your company registrations, and you know statements proving that you have capacity. For those that are using sponsor, external sponsor that are not doing self-sponsor, you then need a sponsorship letter. A sponsorship letter, there is a format in the website. I'll link it down so which you can download. Like I said, Austrian process kind of differ from one district to another. So it's depending on the district you're applying to. The process might be slightly different. Now, some people would also want you to have a sponsorship letter and get a court sponsorship letter and notarize it, taking those extra process. The more, the better. So now, what do you do? Now, in your sponsorship, in your sponsor's account, they don't want to see the money in your sponsor's account. They want to see the money in the applicant's account. So for an applicant, let me use an applicant that is 24 years or above. They want to see the 13,500 euros equivalent in naira in your own account with your 6 months or 3 months bank statement. And also, they also want to see your sponsor's bank statement. So you have two bank statements to submit, yours and that of your sponsor. Remember, I said the money has to be in your own bank statement. All the money stating that this money is for you. So your sponsor has to send this money to your bank account stating that this money is solely for your educational purposes and also submitting his own bank statement. If he's employed, he needs to attach an employment letter or his monthly payment slip or his company's details showing that he has the sufficient money and the source of his money is legitimate. So what I'm saying is the source of his money is not illegal, and really this is all it is for the sponsorship and also for the proof of funds. Now, if you've stayed for this video till this time, then this is where I am giving you some of the tips and tricks that would help you. I told you there's a bonus point for those who watch the video till the end. Let me give you tips on accommodation. Getting accommodation in some cities can be difficult, especially populated cities like Klagenfurt or Vienna. Accommodation is a big deal. Now, one of the things you should take note of is that wherever you get your accommodation, that is where your document is being sent, and those are the authorities that are handling your documents, not where you gained admission. So some people gained admission in Klagenfurt and were able to get accommodation in Village, the next closest city to them. Their documents will be sent to the city where their accommodation is gotten. Now let me explain for the accommodation part. Cities like Linz allow you to apply with hotel booking, maybe 1 month reservation hotel booking. This does not apply to every other cities. Some cities will ask you to submit 1 year contract for your resident permit. Now, for those living in Spain, I know it is usually Vienna. I know it is usually difficult or who are intending to get to Vienna to get an accommodation. Some people would go ahead and book and make Airbnb bookings for this time for their coming. This can also be temporal, but I am definitely sure that they will write back to you requesting for an accommodation. What I do, if you're living in a very choked up city, try to also scout for the neighboring cities around to see if they would have available accommodation for you, because sometimes accommodation is a problem. For those who are living in smaller cities, there's usually accommodation for you anywhere. So you need to check the city's council's website where you're applying to and read their requirements. Like I said, it's okay for links to apply with bookings, but it's not okay for other cities. Some cities is okay with 6 months, some would want to see 1 year. Now, another tips for that you need to know about this process is for the proof of funds. Now, for the proof of funds, like I said, it's also city based. Now, you also need to visit the district website and read about their own information. Now, I would say some districts would accept the sales of property, sales of land, as your source of obtaining your proof of funds. Why some do not accept this? They will say it does not prove that you have sufficient means to take you to the next year. It doesn't prove enough that your parents or your sponsor or yourself have the financial capacity till the next year. These are some of the ups and downs with the limit application from here, because it is not one shoe fits all size for everybody. Now, how long would application takes? Application can take two. I've seen 1 week, I've seen 2 weeks, I've seen 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or 5 months. No, no 5 months, but 4 months. I think 4 months was the max I have seen so far. Now, these are some of the issues that would come up with delaying your applications. When you're applying for your resident permit, try to get all your documents in order as much as you can. One of the good things with Austria is that if you are missing a particular document, they would not deny you straight ahead. The embassy, they would contact the embassy to contact you. That's one way, or they contact you directly. So these are the two ways. The two ways, they'll contact the embassy to contact you and tell you that they have an information for you, or they mail you directly, depending on how the city you're applying to operates. So this is how you can get and tell you, okay, you submitted this document is missing, or you need to put more of this, we are not clear with this, and it will give you a time frame to gather those the next document or more when documents they are requesting for you to submit them. So that's the good thing about it. Another tip, if you're coming and you're going to be staying in Vienna, you're looking for a safe content, please I would advise you to look for, even if it's a shared, because getting accommodation is really, really difficult for those coming to Vienna. Getting accommodations is difficult. So even if it's a shared room, a shared room, a shared apartment that you're able to get, please get it. It's just for the time for you to come in, and then when you're settled, you can then go ahead to look for your desired accommodation style. Also know that accommodation varies from city to city because of, it's not the same price you have in bigger cities that you have in smaller cities, demand and supply. So now, the higher your accommodation, the more you need to improve your proof of funds. For those who have accommodation within 300 to 250, I think the required money for 13,500. I'm talking if you're, I'm saying like if you're less than, if you're above 24, then you're fine. But if your accommodation is now going way higher, I think you will need to increase your proof of funds just to cover, the excess that you already have. Now, this is how to apply for the resident permit. Now you've gotten all these documents ready. You need to go on your appointment date and submit these documents at the embassy. Try to be there on time. Don't forget to print out the email that was sent to you for the appointment. It's also the extra documents that you needed. It's just for you for them to confirm that you are here or your name was put. They also have a list to check on your name was put. Now, remember I told you guys that you would also need to apply for a visa, but that wouldn't be in this video because I guess it's already longer, way longer than anticipated. So in my next video, I will tell you at what point you need to apply for a visa. So that will be all for today. Thank you for staying tuned till this point. Please like, share, and comment. Don't forget to follow, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and stay tuned. Merry Christmas to you all. Love you. Bye.